It's Memorial Day 2022. I've just received an airworthiness certificate for the Challenger 2 I've been working on for the past year, and it's time to do some testing. Start with some taxi tests, maybe some high-speed taxi tests, and then some hops down the runway and see how things go from there. To get started, I go do a thorough pre-flight inspection, make sure that all my controls are moving correctly and that all my fittings, particularly fuel, are connected like they should be. Having just gotten my airworthiness certificate, I'm confident that everything is as I left it just a couple of days ago. But still good to double check. Then I get the engine started, I'll go taxi it around a bit and just see how things feel. Started out taxiing around, just driving around the airport a little bit, over to the closed taxiway and back. Plane handles great on the ground. The only thing I didn't really like was the position of the brake handle. I found it was a little bit hard to grab, so quick taxi back to the hangar and get that adjusted. With the brake handle adjustment done, it's time for another taxi test. Everything is feeling great. Quick turnaround and head over to runway 32 for some high-speed taxi tests. 3-2 is my choice because winds were out of 3-2 at 8 knots, right down the runway is perfect for a high-speed taxi test. I bring the throttle all the way in, and check the RPM, it's right at 6,500, just like I want. And I set my limit at 30 miles an hour for a high-speed taxi test. I should be able to fly at 40. So once I hit 30 miles an hour, bring the throttle back, taxi down to the end of the runway, turn around, come back. And since everything felt great, it's time for a small hop down the runway. Just like with the high-speed taxi test, I bring the throttle all the way in. I'm looking for 50 miles an hour to start flying and do my little hop down the runway. Much to my surprise, as soon as the nose wheel comes off, I yaw to the left, and I keep pulling it off, but now I'm flying down the left side of the runway, trying to bring it back over, but I didn't get it back over in time to land on the remaining runway. So this turned into my first real flight. So here I am, now I'm committed to flying. Things are actually going pretty well. The only issue is needing to keep all that right rudder in to keep going straight. Having just taken off from runway 32, I was considering which runway to go land at. 32 would make a lot of sense, having just taken off from there. But runway 4 is quite a bit longer and wider. I figured it would give me a larger margin for error, even if I had to deal with the crossing from the left. So I hop on a base and then abbreviated final for runway 4. Now, this didn't quite work out for me. I overshot my turn to final, and I was getting blown pretty far to the right by that left crosswind. So when I got over the runway, I decided I didn't like it, put in full throttle, going around, gonna try this again. This approach is looking much better. The only issue is I'm coming in at about 70 miles an hour when I should be coming in at about 50 miles an hour. It worked out. The extra speed just meant I floated and landed at about the 1,000-foot markers to the right of the center line. I'm very happy to have been able to put it down, and was very excited to be done with this flight. There are a couple of takeaways from this for me. The first is that I should consider a slip indicator required equipment. Maybe with more flight hours that won't be the case, but for now I need a slip indicator. The second is that I underestimated the difficulty of doing hops down the runway. Maybe it would have been a good idea to try taxiing nose up as an intermediary between fast taxi and attempting a hop down the runway.